We live in a passive income obsessed culture. The idea of generating multiple income streams so that you can kick up your feet and relax and have that take care of all your expenses is one of the hottest investment trends in recent years. However, I believe that this fantasy about passive income is actually a myth and could be doing more harm than good. If it's your first time here, my name is John Boyd. I'm a certified financial planner and I'm the founder and lead wealth advisor at Modern Wealth. If you like today's content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so that you keep getting content just like this. And of course, if you need help with your own portfolio and financial plan, reach out to us at www.modernwealth.com. That's modern spelled with no vowels, wealth.com. So I've been very vocal about passive income and about excessively pursuing passive income for a while now. In fact, I was quoted in the New York Times last year regarding this very topic. And if you want to read that entire story, I'll go ahead and put the link in the description of this video. And I'm going to break down why I'm very passionate about this topic. But before I do that, let me make a couple things abundantly clear. Number one, the idea and the concept of passive income is actually not irrational by any means and is actually quite effective for folks seeking to achieve financial independence in retirement. The problem is that it's actually executed very, very poorly, and how people go about it is where there's issues and why I have issues with folks being very obsessed with passive income. Number two, I have sympathy for why this has become such an investment trend and buzzword over the last couple of years. When you look at generations in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, right? These generations have had to deal with record inflation. They've had to deal with housing prices dramatically increasing at a much more aggressive clip than wages. If you're a minority, you've had to deal with an ever increasing wealth gap in this country. I mean, there is valid reasons for why passive income has become such a hot trend in recent years. And again, passive income in and of itself, when executed properly, is actually a good thing. But the problem is how people go about it and view it. So that begs the question, how exactly are people getting passive income wrong? Well, it all boils down to fundamentally changing how your investment portfolio operates and your overall investment mentality. So let's say that you have $100,000 and that your primary objective is to grow that money as much as possible. If that's the case for you, you're probably going to pursue growth-oriented assets such as stocks. If you're investing in real estate, right, you're probably not as concerned about generating positive cash flow as you are about building equity in the properties that you're buying so that you can have cash out refinance opportunities down the road and so forth. If you are creating a business, right, maybe you're not as focused on generating positive cash flow right out the gate as you are on building the money-making machine so that it generates cash flow down the road. Again, growth is a mentality that impacts not only the investments that you make, but ultimately the choices that you make within your overall financial plan. And again, this is very different than an income or passive income mentality, because the investments that you pick and how you view those investments, it's going to be very, very different. So to demonstrate an income or passive income mentality from a portfolio standpoint, the most common example of that and the most popular that we tend to be familiar with is actually a retiree's portfolio, right? Somebody in their 70s and 80s. Someone in that age demographic, they've worked for decades to build up their nest egg. They're now retired, and they probably don't have any income sources besides Social Security. So their primary objective at that point in life is to A, not blow it. They don't want to lose their nest egg that they worked their entire life to build up. And two, they want that nest egg to be able to generate income to help supplement their income so that they can pay their bills, right? Social Security maybe is not cutting it, so they want to have their portfolio fill in the rest of that gap. And so you see retirees at that age starting to buy more dividend oriented stocks. You see retirees buy things like bonds that provide stability and fixed income to the portfolio. And again, it all boils down to a shift in mentality, right? Somebody at that age is not as focused on growing that nest egg as they are on generating income and stability from it. And so that's the thing about investing. You generally can't have your cake and eat it too in the world of investing. In other words, if you are going to pursue an income-oriented portfolio or passive income, then you generally are going to have to sacrifice growth as well, right? You have to pick your poison. Which one is more important for you? Generating income off of your nest egg or growing it and stacking up your chips as high as possible? So to tie this all home, I want to utilize an example from my favorite place to get bad financial advice and to hear terrible financial stories, and that's, you guessed it, Reddit. So this is a real post from the passive income subreddit. This is a sub dedicated to people who are obsessed with the pursuit of generating passive income in their overall portfolios and financial plans. This is one of the top posts from this week, and it was a question regarding how to generate passive income with just $30,000. The Redditor says, I don't have very many skills, but I have $30,000. What's the easiest road to passive income besides dividends or T-bills/CDs? One of the top responses to this individual's question is, I had $35,000 and just tossed it in Amex 4.8% CD. So they kind of blew off their criteria of not utilizing CDs, but that was one of the top responses. A lot of people agreed with this particular response. So if this is a prudent way to generate passive income, let's put it to the test. Let's see how this would benefit this individual here on their pursuit of generating wealth. So to put this to the test, let's go ahead and simulate what would happen if this person took $30,000 and put it into something like a CD. We're going to use short-term treasuries as a proxy since the return profile and risk profile is pretty comparable to a CD. Take a look at how much an initial $30,000 investment would have grown from December 1976 to December of 2023. After 47 years, this person with $30,000 in short-term treasury bills would have $351,000. Now, this assumes that all the interest that they generate off this investment, they're going to go ahead and reinvest. Folks that are aggressively pursuing passive income, you're not necessarily reinvesting it. You're taking that interest and spending it, which actually drags down your returns further. But just for the sake of argument here, let's give them the benefit of the doubt and assume they reinvested all that interest. Now, on the flip side, what if they invested in the US stock market instead? The end result is that they would have around $4.5 million. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I have an issue with aggressively pursuing passive income, especially earlier on in your wealth accumulation journey. Yes, from a purely income perspective, will a CD at 5%, 4.8% in this example, generate more pure income than stocks? In most cases, yes, it will. But the problem is that the return, right, the growth will be a lot lower. And over the long run, this person shoots themselves in the foot, especially if they're decades away from actually retiring or achieving financial independence, right? Imagine if this individual actually grew their portfolio to $4.5 million. Well, then at that point, right, then they can go ahead and shift to an income-driven strategy. At that point, they can deviate and change paths. And then let's say they go ahead and get 4% off their portfolio for some sort of income-generating strategy. Then at that point, right, that's $180,000 a year in income that they're able to supplement their lifestyle, right? That's a big deal. So bottom line is slowing down the growth of your portfolio in an effort to pursue passive income could actually really harm your overall wealth and portfolio over the long run. Will it make sense to pursue more of an income-oriented strategy at some point in life? Yes, absolutely, right? When you are approaching retirement or in retirement, you very likely will need to shift your mentality from more of a growth mentality to more of an income-driven mentality, right? I mean, when I work with somebody at that age demographic, that is a challenge in and of itself, and that's an entirely separate video. But if you are a decade plus from retirement or achieving financial independence, you generally should be focused on stacking up your chips as high as possible. If you need help, again, with your own financial plan and portfolio, reach out to us at www.modernwealth.com. That's modern spelled with no vowels, wealth.com. It's been a ton of fun, guys, and I will see you next time.